Welcome to the Chapel Grove Church podcast, the Bible-centered show that focuses on searching the scriptures to find answers to common spiritual questions. To learn more, go to chapelgrovechurch.com. And now, on to the show. Welcome back. I'm pretty excited to get to talk to David Jordan. He's a preacher from San Antonio. He preached last night. I got to hear him talk about, well, he was talking about grace, but he also talked about something else. And the specific question I want to ask is that T diagram you put on the board. You talked about how to understand some of the things from the Old Testament, particularly you kind of went through 1st, 2nd Samuel, 1st and 2nd Kings, and how you basically diagrammed out those kings. I wonder if you could just kind of walk us through. I know it's easier with a visual, but can you walk us through how to understand those things?
Yeah, I can do my best I can here. When you're looking at the kings of the nation of Israel, the first 3 kings that we see, the first one being Saul, the son of Cush, we know that he was chosen by the people. And yet when he was seen by the people, he was seen as a man who was head and shoulders above all of his brethren. He was a man of good appearance, but yet the heart was lacking. So therefore God sought for a king, one who would love him from the heart. And we know that to be King David. And so then King David, the son of Jesse, now comes. And then after King David, we have King Solomon. These are the only 3 kings that we find in the Bible who are actually rulers over the 12 tribes of Israel. And so when you have those 3, and now the T diagram by which you're talking about, all the other kings that follow, you have 2 divided kingdoms now. Well, you have a kingdom that now has been divided, and now we have a northern and a southern kingdom. In the northern kingdom, we find the 10 tribes, and we find that out of those 19 kings, none of those kings were as righteous as King David. All of them were wicked in the sight of God. And so when you get to the southern kingdom, we have 20 kings, and those 20 kings, out of the 20, only 8 are found to be as righteous as King David. And so when you're looking at the T diagram, you have a northern, you have a southern kingdom, you have 19 on the left, you have 20 on the right. In my sermon, we were talking about Isaiah. Isaiah falls within the reign of 4 kings, and that's the 10th, the 11th, the 12th, and the 13th king. Out of his reign, he had 3 out of the 4 kings that were actually good. But when you look at the compilation of all these kings, there's only 42 kings. And so that kind of sums up 1 Samuel, 2 Samuel, 1 Kings, and 2 Kings. And so when you look at that, you have 42 kings. That number 42 represents the complete journey or a complete thing. That's kind of like the T diagram that I kind of use when I'm talking about the kings or the prophets and kind of see how they fall in that timeline.
And like I said, it's probably easier to understand if it's visual, but you mentioned that 19 on the north. Am I getting that?
Yes, 19 on the north. Mm-hmm.
20 on the south.
Mm-hmm.
And so you just have north versus south,
Mm-hmm.
good, and then a few good in the south.
Right.
And all bad on the north.
That's right.
Appreciate you giving us that rundown today.
Thanks for having me.
Thank you for listening. If you'd like to learn more, go to chapelgrovechurch.com. Lastly, if you enjoyed this episode, please consider leaving us a review on iTunes. It helps others find us and lets us know how we're doing. Until next time, take care.